Our next guest is something of a comedy institution, a founding member of the classic British comedy series, The Goodies. Please welcome Mr. Tim Brooke-Taylor. Tim, we were talking about airline horror stories. Have you ever experienced one?
It's not so much horror. It's the first time I flew from Melbourne up to Tokyo, and it's the first time I went on, as we used to call it, quaint arse. And I realised why the name came about. Yep. And they are very helpful men, these flight attendants.
Yeah, yes.
I want one as my mother. And they really were brilliant. They actually looked out. They cared what you did rather than made you feel extremely small and the plane was going to crash.
Yes.
Because most of them say, oh, are you having a good flight? Good. And then they talk about blowing whistles and you think, no, not anymore. I'm sporty now because blowing a whistle isn't going to keep me up in the air. No. And you start to think about it.
Alitalia, this is a weird one. When the Alitalia planes land, everybody on board applauds. Like you're going, what am I missing? You know, is that not a normal occurrence?
I think that's quite good though.
What? Why?
Well, because it's a miracle that you fly and you stay up in the air, and it's a miracle that you come down.
Yes, but we don't like to be reminded of that. That's the difference. Exactly. What we want is, oh, that's normal.
Do you remember when you first used to come into Australia? Oh, not years ago, not the first fleet.
Are you talking about me personally?
Yeah, I'm having a bad night.
Yes, no.
But they have those blokes with the spray can.
Yes,
they have
still do it.
G'day, here you go.
Oh,
Might be a second.
Welcome to Australia. Yeah, they did it. And I can't believe that one spray down the whole line gets every bit of nastiness out of your luggage and
yes,
socks.
it does.
My socks, I cannot wash my socks. How can they do it with a spray suddenly? Welcome to Australia. Thank you very much.
I think it was just an airline joke. I don't think they actually did anything. But
no, I agree with you.
For their own amusement. The Goodies ran, what, nine years?
No, in England we did 11 years.
11?
Yeah, and they haven't been shown there since '84, so I've been over here reliving my youth.
Because they were here,
Yeah, and they're still on here.
And I love it when people come and say, you were in the Goodies. I was allowed to stay up till 5:30. And that was the parents' choice.
Because in the UK, it was like, here it was like a kids show, and in the UK it was on at 10:30 at night.
That's right, yeah. And we settled at 9, and what in England I get is I was allowed to stay up. Here, the great thing is, I met somebody today who said, my daughter used to think I was such a nice dad, I used to watch the Goodies with her. And then when I got older, I realised it was an adults' programme, and he wanted to watch it. And that was only, I think it's a bit, I like to think, and I think it's one of the greatest show ever, is The Simpsons. It's a bit like that. Yes. Kids can watch it, but they don't understand half of it.
Yes, absolutely.
Know? And in England, we show that at 6, and so most adults haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, here in Australia, it was a double act. It was The Goodies followed by Doctor Who. One of the few shows that actually had crappier sets than your own. But it was a great... It was an absolute
I still don't
institution.
understand, because that police box was so small.
It was. How did they do that?
Yeah.
How did they
that
do
is magic. That is
magic of television.
Now, did they applaud when that landed?
Yeah.
That's more impressive, isn't it? We're talking generations.
Can we have a tiny look at, I mean, where do you start from a show that ran 11 years? We just grabbed a tiny bit from, I think, one of your favourite episodes, the Ecky Thump episode of The Goodies. Just for those people who are sitting out there going, The Goodies? What are they? Have a look at this.
Why are they?
Now, great. Oh, all right. Right. Lift your right hand and raise 2 fingers. No, not like that. Yes, that's it. Now, draw your arm back and come at me. Come at me. Strike like the lightning whiplash of the cobra. With the speed of a raging panther. Faster than the eye can see. You missed.
We grew up on that. You're probably mystified. Did it have The Goodies? No, we didn't have The Goodies in the
Yes, you did.
We did.
Yeah, we had a call from Steven Spielberg saying, would we be interested in doing a Goodies movie? Nanoseconds passed before we said yes.
Yes.
And unfortunately, he was making 1941 at the time, and he realised comedy wasn't his bag. But you're right, it only went out on PBS in certain areas.